I served my country with honor, and now I struggle every day with the wounds I carry, both seen and unseen. Sacrifice will not be forgotten. We must ensure you receive the care and support you deserve.
The laugh didn't sound nervous. It didn't sound accidental. It sounded sharp, like someone snapping a ruler on a desk just to watch. People flinched at it cut through the courtroom. At the exact moment, the bailiff finished swearing everyone. And the target of that laugh didn't even look up. Ethan Reyes sat at the defendant's table, shoulders squared, one palm pressed to the top of his cane like he was anchoring himself to the floor. His pant leg rode slightly high at the ankle, exposing the clean edge of a prosthetic metal and carbon fiber where a leg used to be. He kept his eyes forward, jaw locked, expression controlled in the way people get when they've learned the difference between reacting and surviving. Across from him, Lila Carrington, designer blazer, glossy hair. Phone face confidence laughed again. Quiet at first, then louder, like she wanted the cameras to hear it. The judge didn't move. Not at first. Judge Vivian Stone sat elevated behind the bench, hands folded, eyes steady. The kind of stillness that made you realize the storm wasn't coming, because it had already arrived and was deciding where to strike. Lila leaned toward her attorney and whispered something, but her whisper was loud enough to travel. "Of course he's got the cane," she said. "Makes the whole performance pop." A few people in the gallery shifted uncomfortably. Someone sucked in a breath. Ethan's fingers tightened around the cane grip until his knuckles went pale. But he didn't turn his head. Judge Stone finally tilted her chin a fraction, barely a movement, and the courtroom temperature seemed to drop. Double quotes, "Miss Carrington," she said, calm, measured, deadly polite. Was that laughter for my benefit or his? Lila blinked like she'd been interrupted mid-selfie. "I'm sorry. I asked a very simple question," Judge Stone replied. "You laughed. Who was it for?" Lila's mouth twitched, trying to hold on to her confidence. "It's just ridiculous. She waved a hand toward Ethan like he was a prop on a stage. The whole dramatic vibe. Ethan's attorney, Mr. Lowell, stood slowly. "Your Honor," Judge Stone lifted one finger without looking away from Lila. "Not yet. I want to hear her finish." Lila took that as permission. "Big mistake. He's trying to look sympathetic," she said. "And it's working because everyone falls for it. But my coat was ruined. I was injured. And his dog bit me. That's why we're here." The courtroom stayed quiet, but it wasn't the comfortable kind. It was the kind where everyone is waiting to see how badly someone is about to regret what they said. Judge Stone leaned back slightly. "You were injured?" "Yes," Lila said quickly, seizing it. "My hand. I had to go to urgent care. And the bite could have been worse if I didn't pull away." Ethan's eyes lowered for a second, like he'd heard this story too many times already. Judge Stone's voice didn't change volume, but it changed weight. "You claim Mr. Ray's service dog attacked you?" "Yes, and you won." Judge Stone glanced at the paperwork. $4,800 for the coat, medical expenses, and pain and suffering. "That's correct," Lila said. "It's a designer piece." Judge Stone's gaze flicked up. "And you laughed at the man you're suing?" Lila shrugged, then tried to make it cute. "I mean, he's fine." Ethan's jaw flexed. Still no eye contact. Judge Stone stared at Lila for a long beat, long enough for Lila's smile to start failing at the corners. "Miss Carrington," the judge said, "in my courtroom, we have a rule. We treat people with dignity, even when we're angry, even when we're right, especially when we're wrong." Lila's smile tightened. "I'm not wrong." Judge Stone nodded once, as if filing that statement away for later. "Let's begin then." The case was simple on paper. Lila claimed Ethan's service dog lunged at her in the lobby of her luxury apartment building, tore her sleeve, and bit her hand. Ethan claimed the dog never bit anyone. He claimed Lila kicked at the dog, screamed when people looked, then later demanded money, threatening to make it go viral if he didn't pay Dot, and the part nobody could ignore. Ethan wasn't just any dog owner. His dog, Ranger, was a trained service animal for mobility and PTSD support. Ranger was currently outside the courtroom with an officer, because animals weren't allowed inside. Judge Stone turned to Lila. Tell me what happened, slowly, with details. Time, place, who was present. No speeches. Lila inhaled like she was about to deliver a TED Talk. I was coming home from a shoot. I walked in, and he was there with the dog. The dog wasn't under control. It jumped at me. It tore my sleeve and bit my hand, and he just stood there like I was inconveniencing him. Judge Stone raised an eyebrow. What time? Around 9, Lila said. Morning or night? Night. And you went to urgent care? Yes. Which urgent care? Lila hesitated half a second. Westbrook Medical? Judge Stone made a small note. Do you have records? My attorney has them. Judge Stone turned to Ethan. Mr. Reyes, your response? Ethan shifted, the cane squeaking softly against the floor. When he spoke, his voice was even, controlled like a man who'd learned not to waste energy on chaos. It didn't happen like that, he said. Ranger didn't bite her. He didn't lunge. He stayed in heel. She stepped close then. She kicked toward him. Ranger moved back. Her sleeve caught on the edge of the mail cart. She yelled like she'd been stabbed. Then she looked around to see who was watching. Lila scoffed loudly. Wow, Oscar-worthy. Ethan didn't react. He kept his eyes on the judge. Then she told me, you can pay me now or you can pay me later. She said she had followers. She said she could make me the veteran with the violent dog. A ripple went through the gallery. Judge Stone looked at Lila again. Did you say that? Lila laughed, actually laughed, then shrugged. People say things when they're stressed. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed. That is not an answer. Lila's tone sharpened. He's twisting it. He wants to play the hero victim. It's a brand. Ethan's attorney stood. Your Honor, we have evidence. Judge Stone nodded. Good, because right now, Ms. Carrington is doing an excellent job of making herself look like the problem, but I prefer facts over impressions. Lila's cheeks flushed. Excuse me? Judge Stone didn't blink. Mr. Lowell, show me what you have. Ethan's attorney reached into a folder. Your Honor, the building security desk provided lobby footage. It includes audio. We also have a second angle from the elevator camera. Lila's expression flickered just for a moment. The first crack. That footage doesn't show everything, she said quickly. An audio can be. Judge Stone cut her off. Stop. When people start explaining evidence before I've seen it, it's usually because the evidence is about to explain them. The bailiff walked a tablet to the bench. The screen glowed faintly blue in the dim courtroom light. Judge Stone turned the tablet slightly enough for Lila to see her own face frozen on screen, one hand lifted mid-gesture. Mouth open like she was in the middle of a sentence she'd regret. Lila swallowed. Judge Stone's finger hovered over the play icon. No, Lila said suddenly, too fast. There was context. Judge Stone looked up, voice calm as ice. Miss Carrington, I strongly suggest you stop talking. The courtroom went so quiet you could hear the faint buzz of the tablet speaker. Warming up. Judge Stone pressed play, and the first sound that came through wasn't a bark. It was Lila's voice, clear, smug, and smiling, saying, perfect. There you are. Asterisk. The video played in a wide lobby shot. Polished floors, bright chandelier lighting. The kind of building designed to look expensive and feel untouchable. Ethan appeared near the mail area with Ranger at his side, close, calm, leash loose, posture trained. No lunging. No chaos. Just a man moving carefully, shifting weight with a subtle hesitation. That comes with a prosthetic after a long day. Then Lila entered. Frame. She walked fast, at first heels. Clicking, then slowed the moment she noticed. Ethan. The shift was tiny, but obvious once you were looking for it. Her shoulders squared. Chin lifted, eyes locking like she'd found an opportunity. Perfect. There you are. Her voice came through the audio, and even through the tiny tablet speaker, the entitlement landed loud. On screen, Lila stepped closer than necessary. Ranger's head turned slightly. Not aggressive. Alert. Ethan moved Ranger a half step back. Calm. Then, Lila's foot flicked forward. Not a full kick, just enough to make contact if the dog didn't move. Ranger did move. Quick, disciplined, backward. Lila's sleeve snagged on the corner of the mail cart as she leaned in, and the fabric ripped with a sharp little jerk. Lila immediately jerked her arm back, stared at the tear, then snapped her head up, scanning left and right to see who witnessed it, and then she did. Something that made the entire gallery lean forward. She slapped her own hand against the cart edge hard enough to sting, not hard enough to break anything, then yelped. Oh my God. She screamed at Ethan, froze for half a beat, confused, not guilty. Ranger remained in heel, ears up, body still. On the video, Lila lifted her torn sleeve to the security desk camera, like she was presenting evidence in a trial she'd already rehearsed. Did you see that? She shouted. His dog attacked me. Ethan's voice came through next, quiet but firm. Ma'am, my dog didn't touch you. Asterisk. Lila's face on screen twisted. Don't ma'am me. Control your animal. You people always think rules don't apply to you. The courtroom made a sound, barely a murmur, but enough to carry disgust. Judge Stone didn't react outwardly, but her eyes hardened as the video continued. Asterisk. Lila leaned in closer, voice dropping like she thought she was being clever. The security mic still caught it. You can pay me for this, Lila said, or I can tell everyone the truth. Veteran with the violent dog. Wow, that'll spread fast. Ethan's voice. I'm not paying you for something you did to yourself. Lila's smile on screen sharpened. Then you'll pay another way. The clip ended. The tablet speaker clicked into silence, but the courtroom stayed frozen. Like nobody trusted the air yet. Judge Stone lifted her eyes to Lila. Lila's face had gone pink, anger and panic fighting for control. That looks bad, but Judge Stone cut in. It doesn't look bad, Miss Carrington. It is bad. That was attempted fraud in high definition. Lila snapped her head toward her lawyer. Say something. Her attorney, Mr. Halpern, cleared his throat, already sweating. Your Honor, my client maintained she felt threatened. Threatened? Judge Stone repeated. By a dog that stepped backward? By a man who didn't even raise his voice? Lila jumped in, desperate to regain the narrative. He was staring at me. He was being intimidating. Ethan finally looked at her. Not with rage. With disbelief so tired it almost looked like pity. I was waiting for the elevator, he said. I didn't even know who you were. Lila scoffed. Sure. Judge Stone leaned forward. Miss Carrington, you've had several opportunities to do something intelligent today. Here's another one. Tell the truth. Lila's mouth opened, closed. Then she pivoted like people do when the lie collapses and they need a new one. Fine, she snapped. Maybe the dog didn't bite, but my coat still ripped because of him. He was in my way, and he's acting like he's the only person on earth with problems. Ethan's attorney spoke up. Your Honor, the plaintiff is now changing her claim. The filed complaint states a bite injury. Judge Stone's gaze didn't leave Lila. Yes, I can wait. Lila's voice rose. Because he's milking it. Look at him. The cane, the limp, he wants sympathy. The gallery audibly reacted this time. Someone whispered, oh my God. Ethan's hand tightened on his cane again. He looked away as if eye contact would cost him more than it was worth. Judge Stone's tone dropped low. Miss Carrington, do you enjoy humiliating people? No, Lila snapped. I enjoy accountability. Wonderful, Judge Stone said. Then you're going to love what comes next. She turned to Ethan. Mr. Reyes, I have a question. Why did you not file a counterclaim immediately? Ethan hesitated, then answered honestly. I didn't want trouble. I wanted it to stop. Judge Stone nodded once, like she understood that sentence more than most people. Then she looked at Ethan's attorney. What else did you submit? Mr. Lowell stood. Your Honor, we have screenshots of messages Miss Carrington sent Mr. Reyes after the incident. Lila's head snapped up. Private messages are irrelevant. Judge Stone didn't blink. In court, private doesn't mean protected from consequences. The bailiff handed up printed pages. Judge Stone scanned the first one, then lifted her eyes slowly. Miss Carrington, she said, Did you message Mr. Rios, quote, I can ruin you with one post? Lila swallowed. It was a figure of speech. Judge Stone read the next line. Send $2,500 today, and I'll call it a misunderstanding. Lila's attorney jumped in. Your Honor, Judge Stone lifted her hand. No, sit down. She read another screenshot, voice steady. People love a villain. You're already halfway there. Ethan's jaw clenched. Not anger, shame. The kind that crawls up your throat when someone turns your identity into a target. Judge Stone set the pages down carefully. Miss Carrington, you filed a false claim. You threatened the defendant. You attempted to extort money. Lila's face went hard again, like shame made her meaner. He's not innocent either. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed. Oh? Do tell. Lila pointed toward Ethan like she'd been saving this bullet. He approached me before this. He offered to help me with something. He's acting like a saint, but he wanted attention. He wanted Ethan's attorney cut in sharply. Your Honor, that's not accurate. Judge Stone turned to Ethan. Did you know her before the lobby incident? Ethan hesitated, and that hesitation, small, reluctant, changed the oxygen in the room. Yes, he admitted quietly. I did. Lila's eyes flashed. There it is. Judge Stone held up a hand. Stop celebrating, Miss Carrington. The truth doesn't automatically help you. She looked at Ethan. How did you know her? Ethan's voice lowered. 3 months ago. Same building. She asked me for help in the parking garage. She said she'd hurt her back and couldn't lift groceries into her trunk. She was crying, shaking. Lila rolled her eyes dramatically. Oh my God. Ethan continued anyway. I helped her. She asked if I could spot her until payday. She said she needed urgent care and didn't have anyone. I paid. She promised she'd pay me back. The gallery murmured. Judge Stone's gaze sharpened. How much money? Ethan swallowed. $900. Lila scoffed, but the scoff sounded weaker now. He offered. Ethan finally looked at her again. You said you couldn't stand without pain. Judge Stone's eyes flicked to Lila. You claimed a back injury. Lila lifted her chin, defensive. I have back problems. Judge Stone's mouth tightened. Interesting. Because you had no trouble swinging your foot at a dog, slamming your hand on a cart, and staging a scream. Lila's face reddened. This is harassment. Everyone's ganging up on me. Judge Stone leaned forward, voice clean and sharp. No, Miss Carrington, reality is ganging up on you. The bailiff stepped forward again, holding a small padded envelope. Judge Stone looked at it. What's that? The bailiff replied, delivered to Chambers this morning. Your Honor, from Westbrook Medical. Lila's posture stiffened so fast it looked like someone pulled a string. Judge Stone took the envelope and didn't open it yet. She just rested her hand on it like a warning. Miss Carrington, she said, you told this court you went to urgent care for a bite. You named a facility. Now that facility has sent something directly to me. Lila's lips parted, but no sound came out. Judge Stone held her gaze. Would you like to revise your testimony before I open it? Lila's eyes darted to her attorney. He looked down. Judge Stone waited, letting the silence squeeze. Lila finally whispered, open it. Judge Stone nodded once. All right. She tore the envelope open, and the first page she pulled out wasn't a medical bill. It was a discharge summary with one bold line. That made the courtroom go still. Patient declined examination, left without being seen. For a second, nobody reacted because the line was too clean, too final. Like a door clicking shut. Judge Stone held the paper up. Miss Carrington, you told this court you were treated for a dog bite. Westbrook Medical says you left without being seen. Lila's face shifted through 3 emotions in one breath. Shock, anger, then the quick, panicked calculation of someone trying to build a new lie out of broken parts. She started. Judge Stone cut her off. No speeches. Answer the question, were you treated for a bite, yes or no? Lila's throat worked. I went there. That was not my question. Lila glanced at her attorney again. He didn't move. He couldn't fix this. No, Lila said, barely audible. I wasn't treated. The courtroom murmured, but Judge Stone lifted her hand and silence snapped back into place. Why not? The judge asked. Lila's voice rose defensively. Because it's a waste of time. Those places take forever. And I already knew what happened. Judge Stone leaned back slightly. You already knew there was no bite. Lila's mouth opened. Judge Stone continued before she could fill the air with nonsense. Let's go further. If there was no bite, why did you file a bite claim? Lila's eyes flashed and she tried to go on offense. Because his dog still attacked me. It still tore my coat. Judge Stone's tone stayed calm. The video shows your sleeve catching on a mail cart. It shows you kicking toward the dog. It shows you threatening extortion. It shows you staging an injury. What exactly are you here for, Miss Carrington? Money? Attention? Or the satisfaction of watching someone else squirm? Lila shook her head rapidly. This is unfair. Ethan's attorney rose. Your Honor, we also have a voice note Miss Carrington sent to a friend the same night. Lila snapped. That's private. Judge Stone's eyes cut to her. So were your threats. And you had no problem sending those. The bailiff brought another device, this time a phone extraction printout with an audio file. Judge Stone didn't touch it yet. She looked at Ethan. Double quotes Mr. Reyes, she said. Did you record her? Ethan shook his head. No, ma'am. She did. She posted it. Lila went stiff. What? Ethan's attorney spoke clearly. Your Honor, she uploaded a story to her social media that night. It was deleted later, but one of the building tenants saved it and provided it. Lila's face strained. That tenant is obsessed with me. Judge Stone nodded once, like she'd heard enough. She pressed play. Lila's voice filled the courtroom bright. Casual, amused. Okay guys, the recording said. With that influencer sing-song tone, so I just had the craziest run-in with this guy in my building. He's got the whole veteran thing going on, and his dog is, honestly out of control. A small laugh. Then, watch, I'm gonna make management deal with him. People like that think they can do anything because they've got a sad backstory. The gallery reacted an audible wave of disgust. The recording continued. And if he doesn't pay for my coat, I'll just, make it a safety issue. You guys know what I mean. Give it a day. He'll fold. Judge Stone stopped the audio. Silence hit like a wall. Is that your voice? She asked. Lila stared forward, blinking too fast. If people fake voices all the time? Judge Stone's reply was immediate. Not convincingly. Lila's attorney finally stood, voice small. Your Honor, my client is under a lot of stress. She may have said something inappropriate, but nothing, Judge Stone said. Sit, Lila snapped. He's not some angel. He harassed me after. Ethan's head lifted. His eyes narrowed slightly. No, Lila pushed ahead anyway, louder now. Yes, he messaged me. He cornered me in the hallway. He's using the veteran label to intimidate people into silence. That sentence made Ethan's face go still in a way that wasn't calm anymore. It was careful, guarded, like he'd been here before where an accusation can ruin. You faster than truth can save you. Judge Stone leaned forward. That is a serious allegation. Do you have proof? Lila's confidence returned for half a second. I have screenshots. Produce them. Her attorney fumbled through papers, then froze. He didn't have them. His eyes flicked to Lila, warning. Lila's face tightened. They're on my phone. Judge Stone nodded toward the bailiff. We can review your phone. Lila recoiled. Absolutely not. Judge Stone's voice went low. Then you don't have evidence. You have an accusation. Lila's hands shook as she gripped the podium. He's manipulating you. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed. Miss Carrington, you have done nothing but manipulate since the moment you walked into that lobby. Ethan's attorney spoke again. Your Honor, there's more. After the incident, Miss Carrington posted in the building group chat that Mr. Reyes was dangerous and that residents should watch their kids and pets. Ethan's throat tightened. He stared at the table for a second, then said quietly, People stopped talking to me. One neighbor asked management if I was allowed to live there. Judge Stone's gaze shifted soft and briefly toward. Ethan then hardened again toward Lila. You tried to turn a disabled veteran into a villain, the judge said. Because you wanted a payout in a storyline. Lila's voice cracked, but she pushed through it with anger. I have a right to feel safe. Judge Stone replied instantly. And Mr. Reyes has a right to exist without being targeted. The bailiff stepped forward again, this time with a thin folder marked with a court seal. Judge Stone looked at it, then at the bailiff. What is that? The bailiff said. A sealed notice from the clerk's office, Your Honor. It relates to the plaintiff. Lila's head snapped up so fast it was almost violent. No, that's not. Why is that here? Judge Stone's eyes stayed on Lila. Because when someone files a claim and lies repeatedly, it becomes very relevant who they are when they think no one is watching. Lila swallowed. That could be anything. Judge Stone didn't answer. She opened the sealed folder slowly, pages crisp in the silence. Ethan watched. UNMOVING. Watched like a person staring at a cliff edge. They'd been sprinting toward without realizing it. Judge Stone scanned the first page, then the second. Her expression didn't explode because Judge Stone didn't do explosions. She did precision. Finally, she looked up. Miss Carrington, she said, how many times have you sued someone for injury in the last 2 years? Lila's voice was barely a whisper. I don't know. Judge Stone turned the folder slightly, reading. I do, 4. The gallery murmured. Judge Stone continued, voice steady. 2 claims dismissed. 1 settled with a non-disclosure. 1 currently under review for, she paused, eyes lifting, possible fraudulent documentation. Lila's lawyer sat down slowly, like his legs stopped working. Judge Stone placed the folder on the bench. And now you're here, claiming a bite you can't medically prove, with video showing you staged the incident. Lila's lips trembled. This is character assassination. Judge Stone replied, cold. No, Miss Carrington. This is you meeting yourself in public. Lila suddenly blurted, he paid me that $900 because he wanted something from me. Ethan's eyes widened. What? Lila leaned forward, voice sharp. He wanted my attention. He wanted to be the hero. He wanted me to owe him. Ethan's attorney stood, furious. Your Honor, that's outrageous. Judge Stone's gaze locked onto Lila. Miss Carrington, stop talking. Every time you open your mouth, the case gets worse for you. Lila's breath hitched. She looked like she might cry, but the tears didn't come. Instead, she doubled down. Play the hallway footage, she said suddenly. From today. He threatened me outside this courtroom. Ask anyone. The room shifted. Judge Stone paused. You're alleging he threatened you today? Yes, Lila insisted. In the hallway. Before we walked in. Ethan's face went completely still. That's a lie. Judge Stone stared at Lila for a long moment, measuring. Then she spoke to the bailiff. Is there hallway coverage? The judge asked. The bailiff nodded. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Stone's voice stayed calm, but the danger in it was unmistakable. Bring it. Lila's chin lifted, triumphant for the first time in an hour, like she'd finally found a lifeline. Ethan didn't move. But his grip on the cane tightened again, and this time it wasn't just pain. It was fear, because he knew exactly what people, like Lila, could do with a false story. The bailiff returned with another tablet. Judge Stone looked at. Lila, be careful what you ask for. She pressed play, and the hallway footage didn't show Ethan. Threatening Lila. It showed Lila stepping directly into Ethan's path, then whispering something into his ear that made him flinch like he'd been slapped. Asterisk. The hallway camera had no dramatic angles, just a fixed high corner view with flat lighting and no sympathy for anyone's ego. Ethan was standing near the water fountain. Weight shifted slightly to protect his prosthetic side. He looked down at a folded paper in his hand. Probably notes, probably trying to stay calm. Lila walked up fast, purposeful, not cautious, not scared. Hunting. She stopped inches from him. Too close. Ethan didn't move toward her. He didn't even square up. He stayed still, like a man who knows the smallest movement can be relabeled as aggression by the wrong person. Then Lila leaned in. The camera didn't capture audio clearly. but it captured the body language. What mattered? Her mouth moved near his ear. Ethan flinched. A real flinch, instant, involuntary, like the words hit somewhere old and deep. He stepped back. Lila smiled. Then she lifted her phone, angled it toward him, recording him while he stood there, visibly unsettled, trying not to react. A second later, she backed away, putting on a face wide eyes, tightened mouth performing fear for her own camera. The footage ended in the courtroom. Lila sat frozen, blinking as if she couldn't believe the hallway had betrayed her. Judge Stone didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to, Miss Carrington, she said. You walked into his space, whispered something to him, filmed his reaction, and now you call him the threat? Lila's lips parted. You can't hear what I said. Asterisk. Judge Stone nodded. No, but I can see what you are. Ethan's attorney stood. Your Honor, may Mr. Reyes explain what she said? Judge Stone looked at Ethan. You may. Ethan swallowed. His voice came out quiet, but every word landed. She said, one post and they'll hate you, he told the court. Then she said, I'll make them think you did something to me. The gallery made a sound, half gasp, half anger. Lila shot up in her seat. That is not true. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed. Sit down. Lila stayed standing. He's lying. Judge Stone's voice turned razor flat. Sit down, no. Lila lowered herself slowly, face red with humiliation and fury. Judge Stone turned toward the bailiff. Is there audio from that hallway camera? The bailiff replied, not from that angle, Your Honor, but there is audio from the security desk mic at the end of the hall. Lila's eyes widened. No, Judge Stone held up her hand. Enough. Another clip was cued. The sound quality wasn't perfect, muffled, distant, but Lila's voice had a sharpness that carried. They'll believe me, Lila's voice said on the recording, low and confident. They always do. Then Ethan's voice tight. Please back up. Asterisk. Then Lila again. Or what? You'll limp at me? A heavy, sick silence fell. Judge Stone stopped the playback and looked directly at Lila like she was looking through her. You mocked his disability again, the judge said. In a courthouse hallway. Lila's face crumpled for a fraction of a second, then hardened. You're all acting like I'm evil, she snapped. I'm not. I'm just not stupid. People use sympathy all the time. He uses it. I use it. Everybody does. Judge Stone's expression didn't change, but her words came out colder. Most people don't build a business model out of cruelty. Lila's attorney finally spoke, voice shaky. Your Honor, at this point, I would like to discuss. Judge Stone cut him off. At this point, you should be discussing whether you want to continue representing a client who has lied in open court. He sat down without another word. Judge Stone turned back to Ethan. Mr. Reyes, you mentioned she owes you $900. Ethan nodded. Yes, ma'am. Do you have proof? Ethan's attorney handed a document packet forward. Bank transfer. A text thread. A message from Lila. Please, I'm in pain and I have nobody. I'll pay you back next week. Judge Stone read it and looked up. Miss Carrington, you claim to have a back injury. You asked him for money. You took it. You didn't repay it. Asterisk. Lila's jaw tightened. That was separate. Judge Stone replied, It's not separate. It's pattern. Then Judge Stone opened the sealed folder again and slid out one more page. Miss Carrington, she said, this court received notice that in one of your prior claims, you submitted a medical note that the clinic later said they did not write. Lila's eyes darted. That was a misunderstanding. Judge Stone stared at her. A misunderstanding is forgetting an appointment. Forgery is a crime. Lila's breath hitched. For the first time, she looked genuinely afraid. Judge Stone's tone stayed steady. Now, I'm going to ask you something, and you're going to answer honestly if you have any sense left. Lila nodded quickly, like obedience might save her. Why, Mr. Reyes? Judge Stone asked. Why target him? Lila blinked. I didn't target him. Judge Stone didn't flinch. You did. The video shows you spotting him, approaching him, staging an incident, and threatening him. Why? Lila's mouth trembled. She looked toward the gallery like she wanted an ally, but found none. Then she said something that wasn't a legal strategy. It sounded like a crack opening, because he makes people care, she whispered. Judge Stone's brow tightened. Explain. Lila swallowed hard. The confidence was draining out of her like air from a punctured tire. My dad was military, she said, almost reluctantly. People treated him like a hero no matter what he did. Even when he was awful at home. Ethan's face shifted subtle, but there, Lila continued, voice thin. He would scream at us, break things, then go outside and everyone would shake his hand. Thank you for your service. Like that erased everything. Judge Stone listened, but her eyes didn't soften into forgiveness. They softened into understanding. The difference mattered. And when I see someone like him, Lila said, nodding toward Ethan, I get angry because everyone immediately assumes he's good. Ethan spoke quietly. You don't know me. Lila's eyes flashed with tears she didn't want. I know the type. Judge Stone leaned forward. No, Miss Carrington, you know your father. And you've been punishing strangers for his sins. Lila shook her head, wiping at her face, mascara starting to smear. I didn't mean to. Judge Stone's response was calm, firm. Intent doesn't erase impact. Ethan's attorney stood. Your Honor, Mr. Reyes would like to address the impact. Judge Stone nodded. Go ahead. Ethan's voice was steady, but lower now, more personal. I served 8 years, he said. I came home missing part of my leg and a lot of sleep. I've spent years trying to be normal in public. And he glanced at Lila, then looked away. She tried to turn me into a monster for content. Lila's shoulders shook. She covered her mouth like she wanted to hide inside her own hands. Ethan continued. My neighbor asked if my dog was dangerous. Management emailed me about complaints. I stopped taking the elevator when kids were around because I didn't want parents staring. Judge Stone's jaw tightened. She looked at Lila. Do you understand what you did? The judge asked. Lila whispered, yes. Judge Stone waited. Say it clearly. Lila's voice broke. I lied. I staged it. I tried to scare him. Judge Stone nodded slowly. All right. The courtroom held its breath, sensing the verdict approaching. Judge Stone straightened her papers. This case is no longer about a coat. It's about fraud, harassment, and extortion. Lila's attorney stood abruptly. Your Honor, I move to withdraw. Judge Stone didn't even look at him. Denied for today. Sit. Then Judge Stone turned back to Lila. Miss Carrington, she said, I am going to rule. But before I do, there is one more question. Lila looked up, terrified. Judge Stone's voice lowered. Did you contact anyone about Mr. Reyes after the lobby incident outside of this building? Lila hesitated. That hesitation was loud. Ethan's attorney spoke. Your Honor, we have a final exhibit submitted by a third party this morning. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed. Bring it. The bailiff approached with printed screenshots and online post. A neighborhood forum thread and a direct message chain. Judge Stone scanned the top page, then lifted her eyes. Miss Carrington, she said. Did you post his name, apartment number, and photo? Calling him a predator? Lila's face went white because those screenshots weren't just ugly. They were criminal. And Judge Stone's next words were quiet, controlled, and terrifying. Miss Carrington, do you understand what a false accusation like this can do to a man like him? Asterisk, the courtroom didn't feel like a reality show anymore. It felt like the moment right before a door slams and changes someone's life. Lila stared at the screenshots, like they were written in a language she couldn't read because reading them meant accepting that she'd crossed a line she couldn't uncross. I didn't, she started. Judge Stone cut in. Yes, you did. Lila's voice shook. I was upset. I was scared. Judge Stone leaned forward. No, you were strategic. Those posts weren't fear. They were a weapon. Ethan's face was rigid now. He didn't look at Lila. He looked at the judge, like he was asking for one thing without saying it. Stop her. Judge Stone lifted one page. This is a neighborhood forum post. You wrote, if you see this man, be careful. Trust your gut. You attached his picture. You tagged the building location. She lifted another page. This is a direct message to a resident. He gives me a bad vibe. He cornered me. Lila started crying, real tears now, not performance, not timing. I didn't know what else to do. Ethan's voice came out low. You could have done nothing. The simplicity of it hit hard. Judge Stone nodded. Exactly. Lila wiped her face, shaking. I'm sorry. Judge Stone's tone didn't soften. An apology doesn't unring a bell. Especially not this bell. She turned to Ethan. Mr. Reyes, do you want a restraining order? Ethan hesitated, then nodded once. Yes. Lila flinched like she'd been slapped. That's extreme. Judge Stone replied instantly. What's extreme is falsely calling a man a predator because you wanted leverage. Then she looked at the file again. Prior claims. Suspicious documentation, pattern behavior, and something in her expression hardened into decision. Miss Carrington, Judge Stone said. Here's my ruling. The room went silent in a way that felt ceremonial. Judgment for the defendant, the judge said. You recover nothing? Not $1. Lila's lips parted. Her liar didn't even react, he knew. Asterisk. Judge Stone continued. Mr. Reyes, I grant your counterclaim for the $900, supported by the bank transfer and written promise to repay. She paused, letting the silence tighten. This court does not reward performance, Judge Stone said. It rewards truth. She brought the gavel down sharp. Final, case closed. And as the bailiff called the next matter, the camera would have caught it if this were show. Lila sitting there, smaller than she'd been when she walked in. Not because she lost money, because she lost control. And Ethan stepping back down into his seat with the quiet dignity of someone who didn't win a spectacle. He won his name back. If you stayed to the end, ask yourself this. Was Lila always cruel? Or did she only become honest when the evidence forced her to be? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me where you're watching from.